like the outfit.
Which was a political island without the ability to import food from our neighbors. We had to come up with vital solutions to self-supplying economy. In a 70% desert land, with not much rain and even less natural resources of water, we knew that we had to flourish in the wilderness and provide our own food depending on same nature and climate that our ancestors did. But how do one practice agriculture without any experience? Back in the exile, our fathers and mothers did not work in agriculture. They were merchants and dealers, Torah students and housewives. It is true wonder realizing how courageous they were while they decided they had to recreate themselves, to invade the new image of the modern Jew who will be, amongst others, a farmer.
The exhibition that we saw next door, I gathered a few lessons from them. That the delegation from Israel have come with all manner of technologies in their hands. And the crops and products that they are promoting, most of them are directly the concern of government policy in Ghana. Overall, we have a brand. The first time this country has had a brand for public policy, planting for food and jobs. And the essence of planting for food and jobs is to increase productivity of Ghanaian farmers. Yields in Ghana, where the livestock plants are some of the lowest in the world, even by West African standards. And I'm always saying that. So the essence of government policy, which is branded planting for food and jobs, is to increase agricultural productivity. And every stand that I visited this morning next door was talking about agricultural productivity. So it gets to the very heart of government policy in Ghana, your visit here, ladies and gentlemen. And for that, I welcome you and I commend you that you are here to help us, the farmers of this country, to increase our productivity to international levels, which is all what I do 24 hours for the last 2.5 years or so since I was appointed to this position. You're talking about mangoes, you're talking about cocoa, you're talking about vegetables, you're talking about poultry, you're talking about irrigation, you're talking about improved seeds. These are the concerns of my ministry. And therefore, I find myself in a very high-powered, friendly, technological environment as I stand here speaking to you. And thank you very much for coming all the way from Israel. This summit could not have come at a better time than now, when our prime aim is to accelerate the transformation of agriculture for improved incomes and the creation of jobs. It is simply unacceptable to continue to bemoan the woes of agriculture in the 21st century when technology abounds and can be adapted and adopted. While we are in agreement that agriculture holds the potential to transform African economies and reduce poverty, we have for nearly two decades paid this service to doing something about exploiting the full potential of the sector. We cannot accelerate agricultural development when yields for many crops are below 60% of their potential due to low adoption of improved seeds and fertilizers Less than 5% of arable land is under irrigation, when use of agricultural machinery is limited, and when post-harvest losses are still ranging between 30 to 50% depending upon crop. It is with a view of changing this situation that the government of the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has launched the policy brand Planting for Food and Jobs, a major campaign to modernize and transform agriculture. It focuses on improving access to seeds. It has improved seeds and fertilizers and extension services. They have realized increases in yields for staple crops, and the participation of the program has grown from 202,000 when we started in 2017 to 677,000 at the end of last year. And this year we're aiming to reach 1 million farmers with improved seed and fertilizers. To diversify from staple crops, 4 other modules of the PFJ have been introduced. That is the Planting for Export of Rural Development, the PERD, that's the PED, aims to bring the 6 selected tree crops to the level of cocoa in terms of export revenue. It is to tackle the macroeconomic difficulty of a very small capacity for our export earnings. The cocoa earns us just about $2 billion. We want each of these 6 selected crops to also earn another 2 million each, so that together we are looking at 20 billion from tree crops instead of just 2 billion. And this is within a space of 6 years. We are confident that can be achieved. Then we have the other module, Rearing for Food and Jobs, which is going to be launched by the President of the Republic in the next 3 weeks in Wa in the Upper West region, which is the livestock component. And I'm glad to see our Israeli friends who are coming on the back of our private sector participants in this PPP arrangement to raise the productivity of livestock in this country, led by poultry, led by piggery and the others, the ruminants of sheep and goats and cattle.
The key thing about this thing is agribusiness, innovation, and technology. What I think we ought to be doing is to be taking appropriate technology and innovations in the field of agriculture and linking it up with business, appropriate business, so that post-harvest losses, water resource management, irrigation systems, pest control, in effect, productivity ought to be high. And to the extent that we need to increase our markets locally, regionally, but also for export. Because it is alarming that for a nation like ours, like the minister himself indicated, that we are importing even vegetables from outside, from Europe. It is alarming. And I guess that what we need is a sustainable, sustainable policy making. We don't need to praise ourselves about agricultural policy as a government policy or something. What we need to do is this sustainable? If the policy is good, let us sustain it over regimes. And to that extent, it is the technocrats in the ministries who need to recognize that when a policy is in place, now if we continue, the government flagship policy is useful, but we saw it in Operation Feed Yourself, and so if we make it a political program, drumming political success through it. Useful as it may be for our base, it is not. I don't think it is enough. Let us get our middle classes and our young guys who are coming to seize our policies, to own those policies, so that if government is no more there, if the regime is no more there, it is a policy that is a national policy.